Act, make a bold move, make a difference.
We are Mulan.
Mulan, I act to change impossible to I'm possible. In May 20.
Hello everyone, good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Mulan Forum 2022. We're picking up this day just a few days before the International Women's Day to kick off the FY22 Mulan Forum as a gift to all women employees. We are thrilled and grateful that this year we got support from site level and are able to expand the Mulan Forum to the entire Dalian site to benefit all female employees. I can't wait to share with you what we are bringing you today. First, we will invite Dalian Mulan Program Lead, Sales Ops Partner Experience COE, Contract and Master Data Manager Judy for FY22 Mulan Forum introduction. Later, Dalian Site Council Lead, CC Dalian Senior Director Jordan will give us an opening and invite our old friend, Head of CS Contract Category Ramesh Giri to share his secrets and insights to create success from a male leadership perspective as our allies. There's also going to be time for some fun Q&A. While we're reluctant to say goodbye to Ramesh, local Mulan role models, young and passionate, will tell their stories and give you some tips that you could practice immediately after the meeting. So without further ado, let's welcome Julie first to introduce FY22 Mulan program.
Thank you, Rachel. So, hello, everybody. I understand we are so eager to hear from a guest speaker. I'm the same, but please be patient for 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about Mulan introduction in terms of why, what, who, and how. So, actually, Mulan Forum is not new one from this year. It is a very great, successful program for CC Dalian team in FY21, and it's really been a lot of great female talent in CC team. So in the beginning of this year, Dalian Site Council team, we have deep discussion about long-term strategy and planning for the whole site, like where we want to go and what we can drive to support learning and development for our talent. So we decided to extend this forum to the entire Dalian site to benefit more female colleagues and more cross-BU collaboration and leverage different leadership insights. So what is mission, vision, and spirit? Just like you saw just in the video, that is, think about Dalian site. We have a 68% as female. This is a big pool, and this is great opportunity to grow up more and more female leaders. We can be inspired and empowered to prepare for the future and lead the future. I also want to highlight that the definition of leader. It doesn't mean that we have to be only as a people manager. We definitely can be as a project manager, program manager, process manager, and etc. It's broad definition as long as we have a strong leadership attribute and make things happen. So in terms of Mulan spirit, ambition, competency, tenacity, this is a very powerful words, very meaningful words. I like this very, very much. So with the initial letter A, C, T, we call it ACT, which is the spirit of Mulan. So let's act from today. Let's act to change impossible to impossible. We can, you can as well. So who is the core team of Mulan Forum? We have Robbie, Janet, you can see the slide, and Jordan as well from Dalian Institute and site lead perspective give us the support and guidance. For the core team, we have Sharon from supply chain, Jenny from CS, and also Rachel from CC team. You can see this actually is the different combination from different team, different background, and different style, so that we can have deliver different flavor to everybody, no matter which team you are from. So from this month, we'll have a monthly forum plus the on-fly Mulan Club engagement activities. Means we have to integrate with each other so that we can digest the learning much better and also have more colorful activity to support each single employees, females in Dalian site. I think you probably have some question about what I can expect in next couple of months, right? So who will be invited as guest speaker in the forum? But I want to keep this as a curiosity for everybody. If we look at FY21 forum, you can see the slide that we have so many great leaders invited. Even I was part of 2 sections, which was really impressive, and also enjoyed that very, very much. Like Alex, right? So sales operation is very familiar with him. He was leader 3 years back for sales operation. Also like Wong, we just heard yesterday, she has been awarded as Gold of Annual Steve Award, which is top award in industry for customer support and service, which is amazing. And she is really big example of Mulan. So more to come. Join us, stay with us, learn with us, then you will become next Mulan. So that's all from my side. Now I'm gonna to hand over back to Rachel for next part. Rachel, welcome to back.
Thank you, Julie, for the introduction. I'm sure you must have a clear idea on how we are going to drive Mulan this year. I believe with the efforts from managers like Julie from the entire Dalian side, we're sure to make Mulan a great success this year. As we know, the Mulan programs was a CCC Dalian People initiative in FY21. Let's see what Dalian side council lead, CCC Dalian Senior Director Jordan has to say and know more about the distinguished guest speaker he will bring us. Over to you, Jordan.
Hey, thank you, Rachel. Hey, good evening, Ramesh, and thanks for joining us. And I think the word you just put in the chat window is very touching. Indeed, today the virtual background looks very fancy, but the place where Rachel and Julie they are standing, that's exactly the same training room you were here. And back to the beginning of HP Inc. Day 1, and then in fact, Ramesh is one of the founder for our CCC team in Dalian. And he was managing the APG Care Center at that time. The reason why we would like to invite Ramesh to kickstart the Mulan Forum in this year is all because if we think about the act element, and then his name came to our mind immediately because he's the one who really made this happen. And he has a lot of great story. And if we look at his success, his career, that proves all this. And then I think this will be a great opportunity for us to learn and then to hear from him directly. And I believe today, and then we should leave that gender thing aside. And no matter male or female, the objective for us is a common one, right? We want to make our career success. We want to make our HP success together. And without further ado, I want to introduce Ramesh, and then I want to give the time to him to start. I think you are on mute, Ramesh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here. Nice welcome by Jujun Lei and all of you. Quite a few familiar faces. I was looking at all of you on the screen. I always miss being in Dalian and Dalian. I used to try and pronounce the city correctly. And Luyan and Jordan used to be great hosts whenever I was there. So today I'm very happy to be here to kind of share my knowledge on all the work that all of you are doing, and also give you some perspective that you can look at in terms of taking this forward. What is this whole thing that we're talking about? Very often people misconstrue it saying, are we only going to promote women, or, is all that. All we're trying to do is, nature presents different facets of diversity. And this is how do you ensure the whole balance? If there are 50% women in the world, 50% men in the world, then every position should have some semblance of that. If you look at senior management, and as you go up, you start seeing it's becoming kind of like a male-dominated world. So the whole focus is how do we provide the opportunity so that people are able to move and make sure that people are ready to even take on roles that will kind of make them a success for the future. If you look at CS today, after a very, very long time, we have a woman leader for CS, Helen Sherborne. So I think that's just one example of the potential opportunities that any of you could have and what you could do. Another great example, I used to be in Bangalore, as some of you may know, and I moved from Bangalore to Palo Alto. So there's nothing that stops anybody from moving from Dalian to Palo Alto and building a career for yourself as well. You don't need to even move. Even within China, you could grow. And it depends on, you know, do you want to go and get an international experience, or you want to continue to be there? But the opportunity is there, and it's for you to seize it and, you know, take charge of it. With that, I'll just have one slide to kind of introduce myself and give you a perspective of who I am and what I do. What I'd like to start with is, you know, on a personal side, you know, I have two daughters, and they are 26 and 22 years old. My eldest daughter is working. She's a data scientist and she works for a startup here. My younger one is doing her final year in college, and she's either trying to look to work or she'll do a postgrad. That's where she is. But you know why I'm very happy? You know, it's the two girls, at least their future. Every day I tell them this. I say, you're fortunate to be born a woman, and make it count. And if you do not reach the maximum potential, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. So that's my personal story from a family standpoint. If you look at leadership, you know, like you have your ACT, I have three words that describe, usually people call them the 3 C's. My 3 C's are: one, you should be competent in what job you're doing. That's very, very important. If you're not competent in the job, then you cannot achieve what you set out to achieve. Consciousness is nothing but knowing what you have to do in the job. Very often people don't know what is the expected outcome, and they are waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. That should kind of change. And the third one, something very close to me, is compassion. You know, all of us have challenges. If you look around the world today, there's a war happening across country. And how do you make sure you have compassion for anyone? People having a bad day, COVID could have impacted them, whatever happened, how do you do that? So for me, leadership are these three. You know, one, you have to be competent. You have to know what is expected of you as a leader. And three, you know, do unto others as you would like done unto you. And if you look at my strengths, you know, one is very, very important for each one of you to know what your strengths are. You can build strengths and you can kind of nurture them going forward. But that's the first step I would encourage all of you to do. Sit down. There are different tools to visualize this. This is based on the Strength Finder, and I'm sure all of you have used some tool or the other. But the key aspect is, you know, if you have not done it already, I would encourage each one of you to come out with what are your top strengths. And what you realize is why this is important is when you present yourself, you will start realizing that your strengths actually portray whatever outcome that you achieve. And when you pick a team, what is important is you need to pick somebody who has a strength in some other area where you are not so strong in. That way, the whole team will come together. You will have different people with different strengths, and the team effort will be there with whatever we want to achieve. So if you look at my top 5 strengths, and these don't change very often, you know, depending on my situation or the mood I am in, I may portray some other strength, but predominantly these are the top 5 strengths. So being strategic is one strength I have. I try and achieve whatever maximum I can always achieve. I ideate a lot. So I sit down and keep thinking, you know, what can I do next? What is the new thing we can do? And how do we do that? I try and maximize whatever I do. I have a philosophy: with least effort, we should try and achieve maximum result. And that's what I drive forward as well. And the last one, the 5th one I have, is significance, which is whatever work you do, you should try and be significant. Sometimes people will say, oh, I'm driving a savings project, and you ask them how much is going to save. They will say, oh, not much. Then I would say, why are you wasting your time on it? Focus on something which will give you more savings, and your effort will be maximized. So those are my 5 strengths. Each one of you can have different 5 strengths. So if you see in my 5 strengths, what are all missing? So my woo, there's a strength called woo, which is WOO. It's all about being friendly, and there'll be some people, they will just walk and everybody will swarm around them. That's not my strength at all. So if somebody is on my team expecting me to be nice and warm and cuddly and all that I find it very difficult to do. But if somebody is the other one is relationship. There'll be many people who are amazing in relationships, and they get work done out of relationship. That's not my core strength. So I believe in doing stuff myself, and that kind of changes that. So this gives you a perspective of why strengths are important. And you'll find that, in the first 5 years, you'll have a certain set of strength. As you gain experience, you'll see your strength change. But by the time you get to 15, 20 years of your work X, you will find that your strengths are more or less standardizing into this is what your outcome is. Why it's important to know your strength is then you can demonstrate more of it. And if you know what your weakness is, then you can downplay that as well, okay? So if my weakness is one particular area, there's no way I'm going to do a good job in it. So I might as well let it downplay, use somebody else on the team who has that strength, but I focus on my strengths and achieve what I can achieve. Hopefully this gives you a perspective of why strengths are important and what it does. And then you can see my career, where I moved and where I am. And I'm sure all of you will achieve even more than what I have achieved so far, but it gives you a perspective of where I started and where I moved. One of the key things I would encourage all of you is, my biggest learning has been that your tomorrow should be better than your yesterday. So what it means is, it's not enough if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So you need to keep your mind open to learn new things. What's the new world forward? What's the new systems coming? And how do you equip yourself to kind of move forward and drive? That's the only change in the world, constant, which is always you have to keep evolving yourself. And the more you do that, you will start seeing that your performance is lifting, and all these things will keep happening. Somebody once asked me, your career, what do I do to get my next job? You know what I tell them? Your current job, keep doing that like nobody else can. You cannot control whether I get a promotion or not get a promotion. All you can control is your current job, the current job I have today, and how well I am able to do that. Hopefully this gives you a perspective of who I am and my strengths, and something that you could also leverage on to understand yourself better in terms of what are your strengths, which you can build on going forward. This also helps, when you attend an interview and somebody asks you, what are your strengths? If you can refer to something like, according to Gallup, these are my top 5 strengths, and this is how I demonstrated, it will come out much better in an interview as well, and kind of share that. With that, let me move into my core topic for today. And I have 3 focus areas, and it aligned very well with your ACT as well. I didn't change my slides. I've used these slides earlier as well, but it aligned kind of really well with your ACT as well. So the first one, which I always do, is before you start any activity, you should visualize what the expected outcome is. Because if you don't visualize the outcome, it's very difficult to go reach the destination. If you do not know where you're going on a holiday, then you're just going to aimlessly go and see where to stay and what, and it won't be as fulfilling as what you want to achieve. So whatever be the outcome, if you want to win an Olympic gold medal, or you want to become a director of Dalian Contact Center, or you want to do something in next 3 months, you want to achieve something for your team, you want to drive SNPS of this number, visualize that outcome. One thing I always do is at the beginning of the year, I sit down and write down how my end of the year achievement will be. So very often what people will do is they will just go through the year, and end of the year, they will start writing down, and they'll forget, what did I do in Q1? What did I do in Q2? You'll only remember what you did in Q4. And two suggestions I have there for you. One is have a diary and keep writing down. Keep writing down every week. What did you do this week? What are you going to do next week? And then at the end of the year, when you read, you'll have so much to write that your manager will just be amazed at how much you've done. People do not remember what all you did. Today, I may have done an amazing job and my manager said, oh, Ramesh, you are awesome. You really helped save the world and everything. When November comes, she's forgotten, correct? It's 6 months, people forget. So I have to remember and make sure I remind her, I write it down and make sure that I recollect that and do that. So if you can sit down and write how your end of the year is going to be, and then you work backwards and make all of that happen, you will see it's a very different experience. One habit I have, which is I like to daydream. So when I have free time, either I'm on a plane, which I haven't been for long in the last 2 years, though I'm flying tomorrow, I'm going to New York. So I'm excited about that. But you know, on a flight, you have 5-6 hours by yourself. So you're just sitting down. I use that time to keep thinking. I use the time to say, okay, what am I going to do? How is it going to come out? And you should even visualize how Enrique, if he hears this, how he will think about it. How Helen will think about this. How Luciana will think about this. So I visualize that, and that kind of helps me go through the motions in terms of what I want to achieve. And I think, in a way, I was able to link that to the ambition which you have. Ambition, you have an ambition to achieve something. And all I'm telling you is, when you have the ambition, visualize it. Think about how it will be when you get there, correct? If you want to become the director of CCC, you need to start thinking like Jordan. You need to start, I don't know whether you need to wear a suit and a tie and come, but you need to start in your mind. Don't tell anybody. When you have free time, just sit down, close your eyes and think like you're walking into the center and you're having a meeting and you're reviewing and you have to think. Once you start thinking, you'll start seeing that everything flows through and goes through the whole motion. You can use the same technique with people as well. So if you're having challenges with a colleague at work, or you're having challenges at home with someone, start visualizing how you're having a positive relationship. Start thinking about that. You'll actually see your mind is acting and you'll start seeing a different way of how you react to that person. And the way you react to the person, you'll see how the other person also reacts to you. So visualizing the outcome is one very, very important step I would encourage all of you to do. Once you visualize the outcome, then you need to align the whole team so that everybody is running in the same direction. Very often, you'll find that everybody's pulling in different places. If you have a team of, say, 5-6 people, some people think we're heading here, some people think we're going somewhere else, some people think this is not going to work. So you need to make sure everybody is aligned in the same direction, looking forward, and then all marching to the same band. This is like an elephant. I don't know if you've all heard this story. If you blindfold 5-6 people and allow them to all touch the elephant and say, what is this? Somebody will touch the tail and say, oh, it's a rope. Somebody will touch the trunk and say, oh, it's a big tree. Somebody will grab the leg and say, oh, it's a stool. Somebody will touch his body and say, oh, it's a big rock. But when you open your eyes, you can see everything. Then you realize it's like an elephant, correct? So what is important is, once you visualized what you want to achieve, you need to, if you're an individual contributor or if you're a team person, you need to make sure that you are aligned with how to achieve that and follow up consistently. Month over month, are you heading in the right direction? Are you making correction? Are you getting the support needed? Are you making the investments needed? Are you bringing the people along with you? Correct? One very important aspect in all of this is, if you start a project, but don't inform all the people involved, and suddenly you finish the project, everybody will wonder, what did you do? And I have a story on this. which is many years ago when I was in Bangalore. And I am a Six Sigma black belt and Six Sigma master black belt. I came from GE, General Electric, before HP. And we ran a Six Sigma project on a particular item, and we did a lot of work quietly. We improved, everything looked great, whatever. Suddenly somebody came from US to Bangalore, and he came and he said, you know what? I'm doing this project. I just started 2 weeks ago. And even before I formed the team, suddenly everything has improved. I'm wondering why. And we had to tell him, we have been working on this for 3 months. We are the ones who improved it. It didn't happen by itself. The fault was we never informed anybody we are working on it. We thought, let's quietly work on it. Why tell the world it's our problem? We'll work on it. So one very, very important thing for all of you is to make sure that everybody knows what you're doing. And then you align and consistently follow. If you do this consistently, this will give you the confidence. So what is confidence? Through the period, through the year, as you're going through this, you feel confident. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to succeed. Your head is up. You're feeling more comfortable and you'll breathe well. Everything will happen much more comfortable than what it has been before. Once you do these two, the last stage, which I always talk about, is you need to simplify and make it a way of life. And this kind of links to your tenacity as well. I don't know how you all interpret tenacity, but the way I interpret tenacity is, hard work, perseverance, you don't know fail, we have to make it happen, that kind of an attitude. The picture you see here is a story of my manufacturing days. I joined Caterpillar right out of college, and I was a process engineer. So I used to write CNC programs for CNC machine. So we used to make all these big machines, which you see there and what they used to do. And this is earth-moving equipment, correct? So Komatsu, you may have heard, Caterpillar, big dumper, crawler. The tire itself will be some 20 feet high, bigger, taller than me, the tire. So you need to make all the parts, big parts. So you need big machine, plus very accurate tolerances. And the welding is heavy duty welding, because big part, lot of force. So the welding has to be really solid to hold the metal together. And welding would be done by a human person. And in India, very hot. And welding will create heat, fumes, and temperature, and bright light. And the person will be wearing an asbestos dress so that the heat the spark doesn't go on them. And if they weld for 15 minutes and remove the dress, they'll be like drenched in sweat, full sweat body. So the welder, they'll weld very little. In a day, they will weld like this much length, and then they will take rest and come, and very difficult. So I was watching that, and there were some 300 welders in that factory, very big factory. And so I looked at that and I said, why don't we get a welding robot? And everybody said, no, why robot? What will these people do? And they'll have no job. And how can you do that? And whatever. And somebody went and told the workers that this engineer wants to get a robot. So they all came and got me and said, what do you think? And you're going to send us out of job and blah, blah. I said, no. I'm going to change you from welder to welding engineer. You're going to sit in a conference, you're going to sit in a room, air-conditioned room, and watch, and you're going to weld like nothing, and nobody will lose your job and all that. And so they said, okay, and then I made a plan. I shared it with my boss and boss's boss, and they said, go to Japan and work with a company, a welding robot company, and see if what we can do. So I went to Japan. I was there for 3 months, and in Kitakyushu, and we came out with what we needed. We ordered it. It got shipped. We came to India, and we started welding. And what we realized is, what one person was doing in a day, the robot was doing in like 30 minutes. So we straight away realized that some 20 people work one robot could do. And but at the same time, we didn't want to scale this up and cause problems. So we slowly worked that through that, whatever. And then, it was great success because quality was very good. A robot doesn't need rest constantly. It will work. You can actually increase the temperature for better weld quality. Robot will not sweat, or it will not, the fumes won't affect it, and all that stuff. Worked well. Everybody was happy. People congratulated me and all that. And I moved on. I left that company and I moved to Giri. After about 10 years, I went back to the factory. And when I went, they knew I was coming. And they also knew that I was the one who launched the robot and implemented the first one. So I was keen to see whether that robot is still there and whatever. But when I went in, I was shocked. There were some 100 robots and big robots. And I said, where's the one I bought? So they showed me a small one in a corner. They said, we're not using it, but we're keeping it to remember you. This is the first robot we had. But they said, oh, the quality has been so good and efficiency has been very good. We don't have any problem. And they showed me what all they do and all that. And, so the reason I wanted to share that story is, nobody told me to bring a robot into that factory. I just decided, I saw it, I said, okay, let's try it, what you do. So in whatever work that you do, you'll have so many opportunities for this. Don't sit and wait for somebody to come and tell you, do this, do that. You just, if you feel you have an idea, and if you feel the idea is great, test it out. Talk to people, convince them. People will say no first. Nobody will say yes, do it. But focus, push them. I'm confident you can make that happen. So this three-pronged approach, first visualize the outcome, follow up consistently, and then simplify and make it a way of life. If you do these three, you will see that whatever you're trying to achieve, happens much in a smoother fashion than what it has happened before. To kind of come close to my summary, what I would like to kind of highlight 10 things that I always think are very important to keep in your mind as you run the race of life. I'll just go through them and maybe share a few comments on each one of them. Take whatever comes along and don't wait for the dream job. You may be in a job today, you're not happy, or you feel that this is not my job, or you want some other job. Take what you're doing. The dream job will come. But don't leave what you have and then keep worrying about what you're going to get. Always a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. Second one is, it's going to be a long race. If you think about, some of you may have just started, some of you may be completing 5 years of your career. It's a 35-year life, correct? And I have done close to 30 years. I think for me, it's 40 years of career. So, so it's a long race. And you're running against yourself. So you don't need to run fast and tire and sit down, pace yourself. It's okay if somebody else is getting promoted earlier, let them go, you'll catch up. Everybody will reach whatever end destination we need to reach. So you pace yourself and don't add more stress to yourself. And the third one is linked to that. You're competing against yourself. I am not competing against Alex Toll or Juan or anybody. I'm competing against myself. And what I achieve, I will achieve. It doesn't matter what Juan has achieved, or it doesn't matter what Alex has achieved. The other one is, this is an English phrase where they say, if you have a saw or a knife, keep sharpening the knife. What that sharpening the knife in our context means is continuously learning. If your knife is not sharp, it won't cut. Correct? You'll see the sharp knife will cut beautifully. So like that, we should be sharp. Our intelligence, learning, skill should always be there and do that. We all need a coach, whether we like it or not. Any sports you take, gymnastics, China is so good in so many sports. Every sport has a coach. If you don't have a coach, you cannot get the best out of anyone. So figure out a coach. Could be a colleague, could be a manager, could be somebody else, could be a partner, even your child could be a coach. Think about somebody. You'll need different coaches through your life. So be open to learning. Ask. If you don't ask, people will not even know what problem you have. Learn from your own failure. More importantly, failure of others. Quietly observe. Somebody is failing. Just figure out what did they do that they failed, and don't do that. You don't need to go the same way and fail. So if somebody is falling down, on a stair, wearing high heel and tripping and falling on the carpet, you don't need to wear the same high heel and walk on the carpet and trip and say, oh, I also tripped. Just see that and say, okay, I'll avoid that place. I will walk differently. And if you go there, you have more chance to trip and fall. So more than learning from your own failures, try and learn from the failures of others. It's a team sport, and very rarely individualism will win. So learn to work together as a team and help everybody, give credit wherever you can, do that. Seek to help more and you will receive more in return. I always found this very, very fascinating. The more you help people, somebody is helping you. You don't know, but somebody is helping you. So keep your mind open, help other people more. More than my career, I should bring two people up. The moment I bring two people up, somebody will pull me up. That's the whole philosophy of that. Number 9 is what I told you even earlier. Do more today than what you did yesterday. Don't do the same or do less. That doesn't make sense at all. Do more today than what you did yesterday. And the last one is whatever job you do, this is what they say, footprint in the sand. When you go to the beach, you'll see your footprints. Leave those footprints so that others can follow you. They should see what you have done and aspire to be what you have done. These are 10 things that I feel you can take a print of it and translate it to Mandarin as well and keep it on your desk, or you can create your own 10 points, whatever it is, keep this in your mind as you move forward. And my last slide, these are some life lessons I have taken for myself. Be grateful for whatever I've achieved today. I can be unhappy that I not got the next promotion. 8 years I'm VP and I'm not getting the next promotion. But how many people have a chance to become a VP and be in Palo Alto? I should be grateful for what I have today, correct? Not be upset about what I did not get. Be thankful to our parents for bringing us this far. Very, very important. We didn't come here by ourselves. When we were born, we didn't even know how to walk. Somebody had to hold us, give us bath, do everything for us. So be thankful for that. Very, very important. Remember all the people around you who have helped you. In your school, somebody's helped you. In your college, somebody's helped you. In work, someone is helping. At home, people are helping. The whole world around is helping. Think about that. Wealth is not money. Money will come today, money will go tomorrow, but it's the values. What did you build? What are the values you have inculcated? Who are you as a person? That is key to what you do there. And when you leave a company, people should ask, why is this person leaving and not when is this person leaving? That comes from what you do. And you can see, if you remember my first slide, everybody were trying to climb the hill. I tried to picture and do, if you achieve all this, everyone is on top of the hill. That is my, the little time I had to give you a perspective of what I think all of you should kind of focus on and look forward to your careers as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramesh. Very impressive. And I like your interpretation of our act. And you know what? I'm keeping a diary myself right now to keep a record of what I have done every day and reflect on it. And I think it will be a great idea for our Mulans to keep an act diary as well. Later we will do that. And I like your 10 things and life lessons. We will remember that. And glad to see you again, although not in person. Next, let's have some fun to check whether the audience have listened carefully. So let's go to Kahoot first. First, please go to kahoot.it, and then we'll do the game together. I will give you 30 seconds to get ready. So first go to kahoot.it and then input the game pin. So we are loading the game pin right now. It's 345-8193. And for the top 3 winners, you will get the book that Ramesh recommended. It's Refresh. Okay, we have people joining now. We have more than 200 audience today. Glad to have all of you here. Welcome. So act and join us. So we have more than 80 now. Go to kahoot.it, kahoot.it, and then input the game pin 3458193. Number is increasing. So I think when we get more than 100, we can get started. $99. We need one more to get started. Okay, we can get started now. Okay. So the first 7 will be true or false questions. The first one. Ramesh came to Dalian several times, and last time he came to Dalian was in 2018. Is that right? True or false? I gave you some hints. So let's see who will be the top winner for this session, this question. 91 were right. Okay, next. Jordan. Jordan, you should give the others some opportunities. Okay, the second one next. Ramesh is the certified black belt and the master black belt in Taekwondo. Is that right? True or false? I think Ramesh mentioned it. 82, we're right. No, actually, it's about Six Sigma, not about the sports. Okay, Birdie, you're the number 1 now. Next. Most of you were misled by me. Ramesh strongly believes in an entrepreneurial spirit. True or false? Let's see. This time, most of you are right. Birdie. Next. Oh, we have changed the winner. Okay, next. Ramesh is a super dancer. True or false? Let's see. So Ramesh, you can give us some hints anytime. People believing you are a super dancer. Okay, next. True or false? Ramesh comes from a family of farmers. True or false? Okay, true. Sveli, you are number 1 now. The next one, true or false? Ramesh is good at making great achievements with limited resources. Ramesh is an expert on quality. So true or false? It's true. Next. Sveti is still the top 1. Next. True or false? Ramesh encourages a spirit of healthy debate to get the most of everyone. True or false? I'm not quite sure whether you will be right this time. Most of you are wrong. It's false. So the next one, word cloud. What did you learn from Ramesh today, and what do you want to say to Ramesh? So type your answer. I will give you 1 minute. Twenty seconds left. Take your time. Tell us, what did you learn from Ramesh, and what do you want to say to Ramesh? Okay, let's see the word cloud. Wow. Not limit, no limit, go ahead. A lot of appreciations, ambition, confidence. You are so great. You are our role model. Okay, thank you. I love your inspiring comments. Next, please. Let's see who are the winners. The third one, Birdie, congratulations. The second one, Swelly. Let's see who is the top one. Cindy, wow. Congratulations. And you will get the books Ramesh recommended. So later, please contact me for books. And next, you can stop sharing now. Okay, and next is the interview session. As time is limited, Ramesh, I will only ask you one question for the interview. So during your career in HP, you must have worked with a lot of female leaders. So would you please give us an example who you admired the most and why?
Yeah. So maybe 1 year from now, if you ask me, I will say Helen, but she became my manager only yesterday. Jody Schilling used to be the VP of America's customer support. I reported to her for 3-4 years, and she was one of my best managers till date. What I found special is many things. One is, she would be firm, and at the same time, sometimes she'll be like my mother as well. If I go in the wrong way, she'll tell me, no, you're going in the wrong way, come here and do that. So for me, that was a very different experience to be able to work under somebody who is firm, at the same time brings a very warm and affectionate perspective. She would surprise me in many ways. So I was in Bangalore in those days. I was director of the Bangalore Center. And for Christmas, she will send me an Amex, a Visa card with $100 in it. And when I came to the US for a face-to-face meeting, my colleagues were all in the room. And somebody said, hey, we want to send somebody a card in India. How do we do it? I said, yeah, you can send a Visa card. I get a Visa card. Jody, you send me same. What's the process you follow? And she just looked at me and said, what card? I've never sent anybody a card. Then I realized she only sent me. So I was not even supposed to, share it with others that I got the card and I was doing that. So that was another unique experience with her. And number 3, she was very, very good at her job. She came from a finance background, so she knew finance like that. And what I realized is, for you to be successful in a job, some core skill you need to have. You could have either finance or operations or some skill. You cannot be master at everything, correct? One skill you have and use that skill to kind of drive more there. That's my high level perspective. And with your permission, I just want to answer one of the questions you asked. There was a question of, do I want to ask everybody and get buy-in before moving. The reason I don't do that is in HP, there's a culture that you have to go and ask everybody whether you can do something, and then only do. And in a company like CS, 8,000 people, if I go and ask everybody, 8,000 people, what I should do, by the time I finish the 8,000, what I should do is not needed only. Either time has passed or I have retired or something has happened. So I believe that few people get buy-in, focus on outcome, and then move. That's my answer to that question. So don't misinterpret that I don't consider people. I don't go and ask everybody for their opinion. Should I do this? They'll say, what is it? Then I have to explain. Then they will say, why are you doing? Why that person is not doing? That effort of convincing people you can do the job and be done with it. So that was my answer to that. But thank you very much. I really enjoyed being here, and I'm sorry if I took more time than I should. I should have asked how much time I have to speak. So if I've taken more time, I'm very sorry, but I wish you all the very, very best. I'm looking forward to see a lot of leaders come forward, and I'm very confident you will. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you. I think appreciate for spending time with the team here. And in fact, to the point you just add, I want to remind the team a little bit. And if you remember at the beginning, when we were saying hello to each other, Ramesh called my Chinese name, not the English name, Jordan. I have worked with a lot of managers in the other countries. He's the only one who keeps calling me Zhenglei. You can just remember, and he cares about those details. And I think to the 10 points, I would strongly recommend you print it and then just ping it on your desk, and it's gonna help on your single day. And I truly love the sentence he mentioned a little bit. Every time I talk to him, I got some new learning, right? You should make your future better than yesterday, right? At least start from today. He already made our right now present today better than yesterday. Thank you so much, Ramesh.
Thank you. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Ramesh. OK，请大家稍等，不要走开，精彩马上回来。那接下来我们会请上我们大连身边的木兰榜样们，听听他们的故事。嗨，大家好，我们回来了。非常荣幸啊，把这4位年轻、充满活力与激情的木兰榜样们介绍给大家。他们是 Birdy 白雪 from CC 大连 Ops Team， 慧娟来自 CC 大连 Career Support Team， 邹晶 from Supply Chain Team， and 赵丽 from Sales Ops， 欢迎他们。那欢迎大家来到木兰的直播间哈。第一个问题想问大家的就是，你心目中的木兰是什么样子的？那白雪和慧娟是去年参加过 CC 大连木兰项目的，也是 CC 大连去年的 MVP， 恭喜你们。那去年参加完木兰之后，感觉自己有没有什么特别的收获和改变？
那我先来回答第一个问题吧，就是 我心目中的木兰是什么形象？就是其实要想到我心目中的木兰的话，首先映入我脑海的应该就是她那个坚定的眼神。如果要用一个词儿来形容的话，就应该就是刚刚 Ramesh 也有提到，我们还是也有提到、firm， 就是那个词儿 firm， 对任何事情他都很 firm。然后去年参加完时候，我说实话，其实刚参加完，我觉得自己没有什么变化。但是后来我会慢慢的发现，不管我在做什么的时候，我常常会想起一句话，就是其实是我们一个去年木兰论坛中一位guest speaker Robin 说过的一句话，就是不要去问你要做什么，你要怎么做，而是要去问自己，你做什么能让你 come alive。所以说我感觉就是这是一种木兰带给我的变化，是一种潜移默化的影响力。对，第三个问题就是我就是会有什么，就是去进行了怎么样的 act， 就是我可能就是会在我之后经常会我去遇到困难呀或者难题，我会感觉束手无措的时候，我都会跳出来问一下自己，哎，我怎么样做能让自己感觉 come alive？ 我怎么样做能让这个事情 come alive？ 所以我感觉这应该就是带给我最大的一个变化，而且我是怎么样去实践，就是一个实现自我价值的探索自我价值的一个过程吧。谢谢。
谢谢 Birdy， 非常开心
谢谢
木兰能给你带来这么多的改变，然后 Birdy 也是特别的优秀哈，其实也很谦虚。其实 Birdy 他每一步都特别的 be excellent at what you do。就是也是我们万在木兰论坛中谈到的。好，那慧娟呢？慧娟来分享一下。
大家好。其实木兰的话，对我的一个印象当中，她是一个特别勇敢的一个女性的形象。我特别喜欢她骨子里的一个勇气和担当吧。其实去年开始我们接触到一个木兰的论坛，也是分享很多大咖们的一些经历和故事。对我也是特别有很深的一个意义。其实我自己吧，以前就是一个特别保守型的一个人，所以面对一些挑战或者变化的时候，其实第一个首先考虑的是我有没有掌握这个技能，有没有准备好。所以很多时候呢，其实都是一个被动的一个状态。但是之后也是通过2个月的一个木兰训练营的这样的挑战，还有其他认证啊，一次一次的挑战，对我来说可能就是一个起到了一个连锁的一个反应。最大的收获就是让我自己更看清我的内心，让我的自信心能有更高的一个拔高吧。所以会面对其他的一些变化的时候，可能更自然更坦然的面对这一切的一些不确定性，这个是对我的一个最大的收获。然后可能 actor 的话，我可能会从我频繁的一些反复的工作当中，从最细节的一个工作开始，尽量把一些琐碎的工作也是从细节做到极致，这个是我的一个actor。谢谢大家。
谢谢慧娟。那跟慧娟在私下聊的时候哈，慧娟也是通过木兰论坛，然后获得了这种自信。她从这个每一件小事做起，然后每一件小事的成功又重新创作了自己的自信。然后慧娟也是在不断的就是做自己，这种做自己是不断的创作自己，创作更好的迭代的更新的自己。那赵丽和邹晶呢是今年的新木兰，第一次参加哈，那对接下来的木兰有什么期待？
大家好，我是 Sales Operation 的 Carol。其实呢，就是我希望通过木兰这个平台，能够就是挑战自己、突破自己，真正的 learn something， 然后建立自己的 networking，然后让自己就是在 HP 的个人发展有帮助。然后其实我自己就是经历过2次的 job
transfer 哈，
对，然后第一次是从 Finance Team transfer 到了 Sales Operation。在 Sales Operation 工作了2年以后呢，又即将去 Ella 那个 team Sales Conversation 嘛。其实这每一次的改变都是一个自我的一个突破。我也希望通过木兰这个平台呢，就是能让我们面对挑战能更有底气的去面对，然后就是相信自己，突破自己。这个就是我对木兰的期待。
谢谢 Carol。那 Carol 的确是进行了很多的变动，我想你被木兰选中也是有你的原因的。 特别羡慕你哈，这么大胆勇敢的 break through 突破自己，然后到不同的 team 中去，去历练。
也希望大家能加入木兰，然后能够当面对挑战的时候。
对，希望大家哈稍后一起都加入木兰，然后跟我们的木兰 role models 一起学习，一起改变。那邹晶呢？
我心目中的木兰的话，其实是一个勇于承担的女性形象。然后我对于木兰这个论坛的期待呢，其实就是主要是想挑战和突破一下我自己。我跟慧娟其实很像，我在遇到挑战和新的任务的时候，也是不是很自信啊，可能有的时候需要 manager 推荐，我才会愿意去尝试。对，就是不是很主动的那种类型。所以我希望通过木兰论坛能让我认识更好的自己，能变得更自信、更勇敢，就是化被动为主动。
对，勇敢的突破自己哈，不为自己设限。那对在线的这个女朋友们有没有什么好的建议？分享一下你们的这个秘密哈，你们是如何在各自的领域能够闪亮发光的哈？不要谦虚这个时候，然后给大家一个小 tip， 那大家回去就可以可操作执行的。比如说刚才 Ramesh 啊，咱们可以 keep 一个 diary 是吧？每天记录下自己做的事情，然后不断的 reflect 来反思，做得更好。那谁先开始？
那话筒在我，我先开始吧。然后我刚刚忘记了说一句，因为我本来是这个小 tips 是一个，但是我现在要加到2个了，
好几个了是吧？那太好了，现场。
是因为什么？因为我觉得现在大家可以当下回去就去做的，就可以回放去年我们木兰的视频，真的你会有新的发现，会有新的收获。
哎 ，Birdy，这个你那个让我想到了哈，就是咱们木兰就是木兰今年呢会有一个就是一个 heritage 的一个 digest， 就是我们木兰这个历史的一个重新的消化。对，就是刚才 Birdy 提到的去年的这些木兰论坛的所有的回放，而且我们现在语言大咖联盟正在做这个中英文字幕的这个工作，然后稍后把这个中英文字幕添上之后，相信大家可以理解的更透彻，然后收获更多。好，第一个 tip， 那第二个呢？
大家不容错过。第二个 tip 的话，
敬请期待。
对，第二 tip 的话就是，其实我觉得，与其说是给大家分享一个小 tip。我感觉我更愿意跟大家说一下我自己会一直有的一个信念是什么，就是我觉得 you define yourself， 不要就像刚刚Rachel 也说到了，就是不要让别人给你设限，更别让自己给自己设限。当你发现把你每一个小事情、每一个小任务都做到有自己风格的时候，你就会发现。你会把 impossibility 变成 I am possibility， 谢谢。
然后行动，把改造，然后改变自己，然后让一切变得可能，
让一切
创造无限的可能。
是的。
刚才你 Birdy 说的时候，这个不要为自己设限哈。我现在在整理视频的时候，其实还清晰的记得啊，那是 Ruth 的 session，然后最后Ruth 说那个要 drive your own destiny。要就是掌握你自己的命运，然后 Jordan 还 comments 就是说不要为自己设限，因为我们有无限的可能，
谢谢。
好，那我跟大家也分享2个点吧。第一个就是一个行动的一个部分，可能我们会在惠普也是在生活也是会遇到很多的挑战和变化。首先我们可能会想我们以后能不能做好，但是我想跟大家分享的是，先把自己放入到这个情景当中、机遇当中，先让自己迈出这个一步。其实这个就是行动的开始 ，take action。这个就是我们如果迈出这一步的话，可能我们看到的、学到的一些资源和平台会更多更广。这个是第一个。然后第二个是分享一个我的一个习惯吧。其实我们每一个人年初的时候都会设想今年一定要怎么样过好，但是我觉得就是把当下的每一分钟，把这每一分钟每一天努力做好是最重要的。我呢一般会在睡前会留出几分钟的时间，一般会想三个问题，就每天会想3个问题。第一个就是我今天列出来的这些目标目录当中我完成的怎么样。第二个就是我有什么样不同的一个尝试去变化这个。然后第3个就是 就是我明天需要弄的最重要的事情是什么？我每天会反思这3个问题，让我有更多的觉察。我觉得第2天我过的质量也会有一定的提高，这个是我的一个习惯，希望大家也一起尝试一下。然后还有就是，其实木兰这个团队呢，就是对我们女性的发展来说特别的重要，所以希望大家也一起加入到我们木兰当中，我们一起来突破，然后创新，一起挑战，做我们想要活的一个样子。好，谢谢大家。
谢谢慧娟哈。刚才慧娟说的这个 tips 就是这个3件事嘛，这个其实也是跟 diary 如出一辙哈。其实慧娟可能给了大家更具体的指导，那你这个 diary 具体怎么写，对吧？那邹晶呢？
我觉得就是万事开头难嘛，就像刚才慧娟提到的，大家其实都很愿意设各种各样的目标，比如说要减肥呀，要健身啊，要存钱啊，但是有的时候就是目标定好了，还没有的开始，就不了了之了。然后就像我今天坐在这儿，其实也是我参与木兰项目的第1个 act，我勇敢的迈出了第1步，所以希望在线的女同胞们也一起心动不如行动，加入我们。对，就是勇敢的迈出第1步，可能你看到的风景就会比今天的更美一些。
谢谢邹晶，特别期待我们未来的旅程哈。那 Carol，
好的，我想给大家 tips 是培养自信，就是自信可以让一个人看起来神采奕奕，而且还会给你工作上的 presentation 加分。我们平常就是用的就是自我暗示，我最棒，我最美。
是啊，像刚才那个 ambition， 那个 Ramesh 提到要 visualize， 要那个 dream big， 对吧？那我现在可能是在我现在的 position， 那我看 next level 老板在想什么，然后我怎么样做能 achieve 那一步，对吧？
然后除了这个呢，我们还可以树立一个榜样，寻找生活中你喜欢的，就富有自信、
role model，
对体质的，比如说像腊梅这样。遇到不自信的事儿，想想腊梅会怎么做。
特别荣幸啊，被你 Q 到了。对，像我们论坛里这所有的 role model 是吧？我们身边的 Jordan、Julie 都是我们的 role model。
然后也希望大家能够加入木兰吧，然后培养自己的自信。get 到不一样的自己。
谢谢 Carol。那我看 Jordan 开麦了哈 ，Jordan 是有什么想对我们 comments 的吗？
我就是觉得大家说的，包括前面Ramesh谈的，都是满满的干货。我真的希望咱们在接下来木兰的这段旅程当中，能所有人一起在这个过程当中，真的做到把不可能变成我们可以做所有的事情。
谢谢 Jordan。那大家对现场的木兰有没有什么问题想要问我们的？可以做一个 Q&A 啊。那没有问题的话，有问题是吗？
嗨 ，Hello， 大家好，我是易瑶，来自 CS Localization 团队。虽然
，Hello，
虽然我没有参加，但是听起来21年的论坛非常的精彩。我很好奇22年的论坛会有哪些具体的活动
？22年论坛有什么具体的活动是吧？那咱们今年的木兰 program 是分成2部分哈。第一部分呢就是我们的木兰论坛，我们的主打，请各位HP 的和业界的大咖来为我们做分享。那第2部分呢，我们会有木兰 Club 木兰俱乐部来做线下的 engagement。那在这个俱乐部里呢，我们会像朱莉说的，我们会进行特别多的多彩的活动。那比如说，我们可以进行一些confidence， 怎么样得到 confidence？ 我们可以 upskill 我们自己，对吧？让自己成为真正能上战场上打仗的木兰，而不是我们每天在这喊口号，我自信，我有 ambition， 我能行，对吧？我们要具体的 take action， 做这些行动，然后学习。比如说进行一些英语的学习、项目管理的学习，然后也鼓励大家哈，因为我们现在 People 有我们是 HP 大连 Institute 的惠普大连学院，那这个学院下面呢有3大学院和2个论坛，也鼓励大家哈都参加到三大学院2个论坛的这各个项目中去。当他们在这个招聘的时候，是吧？你要勇敢的冲上去，然后到这个各个项目里去历练。 然后呢，我们也会，因为我之前参加过 China HP WISE 的项目，那在 WISE 项目里，我参加了一个特别有趣的哈，感觉有一个 simulation， 就是一个模拟，它是一个像一个软件这样的，然后如果你是一个 leader 的话，你会怎么处理这一步一步的事情？它会给你很多的情境，我觉得特别有意思啊。稍后也可以跟 China HP 要来这个资源，我们木兰 Club 来进行这个 leader 的演练哈，看看到底怎么样做领导。因为当时的时候我感觉我 take 了很多 wrong action， 感觉这个员工让我弄得最后都要离职了。就是很多精彩的活动哈，大家敬请期待。而且最后的时候，其实我们还有一个升华，就是我们最后木兰毕业的时候，这个 ceremony， 我们想到就是农村的学校去做这个 ceremony， 就是我们木兰被赋能的同时，我们也想去赋能别人。然后说到这儿，其实木兰去年的话，我们有31位这个 participant 嘛，这个参与人员，我们也希望他们也是我们的财富哈，在今年我们的这个木兰 club 中来进行一些指导，然后比如说我们的朱莉啊、振玲啊、Sharon 啊，他们都是我们的 role model， 然后可以给我们进行一些 mentoring、一些 coaching。这是我们今年木兰大概的一个计划哈。那下一步就是明天上午，其实我们这个项目组就要开一个会，具体的把这个木兰 Club 的这个 engagement 的活动 timeline 的 calendar 定出来。不知道有没有回答你的问题一样？
有的，了解了，谢谢。希望以后能学到更多的知识。
谢谢，期待你加入啊！稍后可以扫码加入我们的木兰 Club。然后在线也可以提交这个 forms 或者各种这个收集大家信息的加入的这个网啊，这个叫什么调查问卷，对，大家都可以 scan。稍后我们也会把这个二维码给大家显示出来，大家可以扫码。那接下来就可以扫码了，但可以把这个给大家显示出来。那左边这个是木兰俱乐部哈，这个微信群刚才说的木兰 Club， 大家可以扫码。那在这里你就可以第一时间接到我们的所有的这个 information。然后这个右边的话是问卷调查，大家把这2个二维码可以拍照一下哈，稍后的话可以认真的为我们填写一下，因为我们的这个木兰是真正的想为大家做点事儿哈，希望听到大家的心声，然后我们做这件事儿真的是为大家做的。那接下来朱莉有没有对我们想说的？先把你请上来。
I'm back 。此刻的心情呢是非常的激动，无比的喜悦，非常的自豪，为你们、为大家、为所有我们在今天这个直播室的所有人啊。其实呢，我想到3个字，就是说3个短语，就是说天时、地利、人和。天时正值春季万物复苏，对吧？做计划、做行动的时候，赶快行动。你们说了嘛？谋则慢，动则快，快，是吧？就是谋则快，一定要快。然后呢，地利为什么呢？就是我们大点赛的其实是我们的一个 strategy 的 hub， 无论是哪一个 CC 也好，最早 plan 也好，还是 supply chain 也好，对吧？我们有这么好的一个地利的一个条件，那么人和就不用讲了，对吧？我们 site council。Jordan 也好 ，Robbie 也好 ，Janet 也好，对，我们都是全力的去打造今年的这个大点学院，木兰是其中的一个，对吧？我们没有理由说把它做得不好，没有理由就是说大家不会说就是说成长的更好一些，会更好一些哈。所以说呢，天时地利人和，然后再一个呢，就是我们的这个木兰 forum 呢，是我们大点的 forum， 是我们自己的 forum， 也是我们为每一位女性、每一位同事打造的 forum， 所以呢。一定要来参加我们这个 forum， 那你一定会发生你的改变。那么就是说，还是那句话哈，心动不如行动，赶快加入我们的木兰，我们在这里等你啊！我们这个男士也可以，没问题。我们一起对吧？成长，一起突破，一起走向未来。
是，
这是我给大家说的哈。然后呢，我不知道周哥在线上有没有 comments？
没有了。对，朱莉已经 close 的特别好了哈。对，特别期待。
所以呢，如果这样的话呢，就是今天也非常谢谢大家的参与。同时的话呢，我们期待今后的更多的一些精彩的一些给大家带来一些这个分享和这个线下的一些活动。那所以呢，我们今天呢非常谢谢大家。所以呢，我们之后呢会跟大家有更多后续的很多的一些 engage， 所以大家敬请期待，好吧？所以说也祝大家今天这个
今天一定有美好的心情。然后呢，我们接下来呢会有很多的见面的机会。好，谢谢大家加入我们。
是，然后那个大家别忘了扫码，可以把那个把我们引去，然后把我们的码那个展示出来。然后我是木兰哈，行动创造无限可能，欢迎大家加入我们。
欢迎，拜拜，
拜拜。
唧唧复唧唧，木兰当户织。不闻机杼声，惟闻女叹息。
Mulan is an ancient Chinese maiden disguising herself as a male warrior to save her father. She is confident, tenacious, aspirational, and ultimately becomes a heroine. In May 2021, CCC Dalian Mulan Academy was established with a vision to build a pipeline of female leaders. Ask with courage, express with confidence is the focus of Mulan Academy Phase 1, which resulted in 31 candidates having learned storytelling skills and made breakthroughs. Mulan Forum is a series of fireside chats that we had with prominent female and male leaders. We talked to them about career, about life experience, about leadership, among other things, so that our Mulan candidates get inspired and empowered to lead.
Be genuine and authentic. I've never been so brave and courageous.
Stay relevant, create value for others. Storytelling enhances self-awareness and evokes my skills to influence. Role models inspire and empower me.
Being involved in the Mulan Academy helps candidates achieve a comprehensive upgrade in self-awareness, networking skills, and mindset. The confident, tenacious, and aspirational Mulan spirit is the embodiment of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which not only helps the CCC workforce with future talent strategy, but also enables Dalian site to achieve bigger things.
We are Mulan!
Mulan Academy, a school for female leaders.